What's up guys, welcome to ABAUTO. We're here today at LSH Auto, Mercedes-Benz of Stockport, and we're getting the first service of the CLA45s. We've got Mark here and Ethan who are going to be talking us through the whole process. Let's service the car.
The service begins with Mark taking notes from the car, checking for any recalls and taking information for the digital logbook. My car is having a service A, which is a minor service, but we'll be back next year for a service B, which is even more in depth. Ethan's first job is to top up the washer fluid. With the washer fluid fully topped up, Mark removes the AMG cover to access the engine bay. Here's what the M139 engine looks like under the cover. Mark begins his engine checks first by using this clever device. This is called a refractometer. It's used to make sure that the concentration level of the coolant is correct. Now it's time to give the engine bay a good check over. Mark is checking to make sure that any wiring or connections are all nice and secure and everything is where it should be. All the seatbelts in the car are fully checked carefully to make sure there's no damage to any of the webbing. The bodywork is also given a full look over to check for any dents or damage. The fuel door is open to reveal the correct tyre pressures. Mark checks the sizes of the tyres. Then he reads out the correct pressures across to Ethan, who makes a note of each to refer to later on. Now it was time to give the car a full safety check. Wheel bearings on both sides are checked for any play, then the suspension springs. All four tyres are carefully checked to make sure there's no eggs or bulges. Ethan makes detailed notes of everything as Mark calls it out. Mark checks the front brake pads, which are approximately 20 to 25% warm. Then he moves on to the rear pads, which are approximately 10% warm. With the car higher up, the rear tyres are given a proper check on both sides. Mark checks over the rear suspension and makes sure the exhaust is secure. We then make sure there's no damage to any of the alloy wheels because you never know with the UK roads and our terrible potholes. Mark was very thorough in his check, making sure to look on both sides of the suspension, brakes and subframe. Next up was to check the tyre wear using this digital gauge. Now it's important when checking tyre wear to check across the whole tyre to make sure that the wear is close to equal. If the wear is too far apart, there may be a problem with the geometry of the car. The front driver's side is 4.8mm, while the front passenger side is 4.5mm. Now onto the rear driver's side, which is 6.2mm. And the other side is 6.1mm. Now it's time to remove the undercover so we can access the engine. The undercover on this car is made of tin, so it's a nice solid structure and it does a great job protecting the engine above. Once all the bolts are gone, the undercover is carefully removed and set aside. Here we have our transmission and our engine, which is all looking great without any signs of any leaks. Mark also checks the auxiliary belt, which is in great condition. Everything is given a really good look over to make sure it's as it should be and there's no evidence of any damage or any leaks. Now it's time to drain the oil. Mark loosens the first bolt to get to the oil filter. Excess oil is released as the filter is slowly removed. Once all the excess oil has been drained, the filter and housing are fully removed. The seal on the housing is taken off, ready to be replaced. Here's the old, well-used filter next to the brand new one. Ethan now carefully removes the sump plug to release the oil. While the last bit of oil is drained, Ethan uses this time to make sure all the tyres are set to the correct pressures. Now the oil's finished draining, Ethan places a new seal onto the housing. The new filter and housing are then installed and secured tightly in place. The sump plug is then reassembled with its seal. Then placed back into the sump. Then everything is tightened up. Before the undercover goes back on, Mark gets back under the car to give everything one last check over. Now it's time to return the undercover so we can lower the car and pour in new oil. The CLA45s is being treated to this lovely AMG branded high performance oil. Mark secures the funnel while Ethan carefully pours in the oil. Now there is no dipstick on this engine to check the oil levels, so it's important to make sure you pour in the correct amount. We'll be able to double check this is all correct using the car's computer systems later on. Mark carefully removes the funnel and wipes down the surrounding area, then we take another look at this incredible packaging on the AMG oil. I was so pleased to see this high-end oil going into my CLA45s. With all the new oil in place, it's now time to return the engine cover. I really appreciate the care that was taken over the whole process, from just a simple wipe with a cloth to this protector that they lay over the front of the car. And there we have it, the service is complete. On my drive back, the car felt fantastic, and I was reflecting on just how important having a service A done properly is. It's so much more than just an oil change. All those safety checks are so important to carry out on a car, especially on its first year, just to make sure that everything is in working order. I mean, this is the first time the car's going to be looked under since it went to the road. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Mark and Ethan and the team at LSH Auto and Mercedes-Benz of Stockport for doing an amazing job on my car, and of course allowing me to film the whole process to share with you all. It's crazy to think the CLA45s is already a year old, but what a year it's been. I absolutely love this car, and I'm working on a full in-depth 1-year owner's review video that I just can't wait to share with you all. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps the channel out. And for more behind the scenes Mercedes-Benz content and just general AMG fun, subscribe to ABAUTO. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.